Next, as we talk about branding here, we want to talk about placement, how your logo is used and where it's used. When you create this brand, you want to make sure that you create something that can be usable. A rule of thumb I always tell people when we create a logo for them is I want you to think about the worst black and white copier that you have ever seen in your life. And if we took your logo and we printed it on that black and white copier, would you still be able to tell what it is? We want to create something and place something that the customer will not only start identifying with you as a brand, but is easily recognizable. When you think about a logo, there's really two parts to it. There's a good name, which is your company, and that can be anything. A lot of times people get stuck on their company name and what that name should be. But when you think about great companies, they take a name and they make it their own. Apple was a computer company, but they took the name Apple and they own it. If you look up the word Apple now, you usually get computers, not apples. You think about a company like Amazon, where they started out selling books, but they took a word and they owned that word and they became their own. So finding a name that you can take and is easy to say and easy to use. Next is a good mark. You want to take that mark that is going to be used to identify your company going forward and let people know that it's yours. And a good mark and a good name, and you have a magical combination. When we think about what a logo truly is and what a brand truly is, it's just simply taking a complex idea and turning it into a simple representation. It's taking all of the history and all of the things that we identified back in the examination of your company and all that you stand for and all of your history and boiling it down to a simple representation. For example, I gave you the words there of a complex idea into a simple representation, and yet if we wanted to do with logos, it could be something like that. Something that was more complex and multifaceted, and simplify it down to a simple mark and a simple logo. That's what you need to be doing as your company, because simple logos are the ones that carry the most complex ideas. Some of the greatest companies that you know and some of the most recognizable brands that you've ever seen are simple marks. The Nike swoosh, the Apple, the Target logo. They're things that are simple and that they carry a lot of complex ideas to them. And so when we're thinking about placing our logo into the marketplace and putting it out there, and as we spoke of before, branding it into the mind of the consumer, we need to make sure that it is simple enough that when they see it, that it then carries the complex ideas behind it with them.